Hello, Culture Matters podcast. We are back again with another 30 days of thought. We are on page 76. The excerpt is information overload. If you haven't heard, 30 days of thought is about reading to think, writing to develop, and speaking to let go. It wasn't until hundreds of podcasts, interviews on the Culture Matters podcast that I realized listening to hear what is unsaid is a good idea. I don't listen very well because all I do is talk and talk over people. And so when we say, read to think, write to develop, listen to hear what is unsaid, and speak to let go, it's me for putting myself together, attempting to construct not only a person, but a leader, a successful person. And it was read, write, speak until it was read, write, listen, speak. Having done so many interviews and realizing how poor of a listener I am innately or temperamentally, or was it behaviorally, or whatever the cause was. So today we're actually doing 30 days of thought, and I'm going to read information overload and share my thoughts on my thoughts from 30 days of thought. Because I go through this every couple of years, or not a couple of years. I've been through the process of 30 days of thought, which is the purpose is to read an excerpt, write down your thoughts in the book, and then create a video and share it out on social media. And so that's what I'm doing, eating my own cooking here. So here we go. Here's 30 days of thought by Jay. That would be me, circa 2019. Information overload. Follow along with me if you have the book. If you don't, I'm going to read it and then I'll share some of my thoughts today that I wrote down. At light speed, every possible orifice of our being is bombarded by emotion. It can be positive or negative. It could be lusting or loving, like a pendulum swinging, our fate and fulfillment held in the grip of consumption. The need to earn, a drive to show capital gain, or promise to stand tall amongst our peers. These animalistic tendencies hold us hostage to our worst selves. The reptilian ego hides inside its barred lair, just waiting to be unleashed. Our hands tightly gripped to the bars of its domain like a prison made of pure information, with our culture identified clearly that we live in fear. We wait patiently for the next update, holding on to a hope of a better tomorrow. In an era of information overload and a culture of conformity, we have lost our identity and we have succumbed to thoughts we feel we need. We have gained a never ending hunger for falsehood, and it classifies itself something that can never be enough. And we can potentially look back in horror at the demons, at the reptile, at ourselves. What we see now are not just falsehoods, but the ugly truths. The age of information overload shows us losing sight of who we are, what matters, and a culture of brotherhood and compassion we had. In an overloaded day, the I matters. The selfish manifestation of consumerism will always reign true in the eye of the beholder. This culture, staring deeply into its own reflection, is only able to perceive what it has been cultivated for good and evil, for good or evil. As we stay on our path for self, it is always hard to see the whole production when we are just a small fragment, even though our role is so important. Two words may come to some of us as we drift away. Do you dare to speak them to become aware? Be wary of your reflection, as it will not hesitate to show your truth. Man, what the hell is Jay saying? One thing that stands out is We wait patiently for the next update, holding on to hope of a better tomorrow. You know, talking about there's a few couple things are addressed in this, but what's innate in us, the hunger for survival, the Rene Girardian mimetic competition, the monkey see, monkey do, the copycat syndrome, the wanting to up one another and do what other cool people are doing, and our mind, our shared mind convincing our brain, our and our brain being dialed in a way that it would grant possibility for our mind to convince us of things we don't even want. It's like Schopenhauer, man can do what he wants but not want what he wants. This information overload that we're in, you know, are has that yeah, is everything changed or has nothing changed? So we wait patiently for the next update, holding on to a better tomorrow. Here's something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I've shared it on a couple podcasts in jest. But ultimately, I'm putting out so much of who I am and who I'm becoming and what I am in the attempt to influence you to participate in this journey. Now, if you listen and participate in this content, whatever that means, um, you may end up spending so much time that you actually need. Maybe at some level, this is giving you something you need emotionally, education wise, thought provoking, sentimentality. Who knows? Some um, personal fetish. Yeah, so you're getting something from this. Well, if you end up, and let's say you're getting something, but at the same time, you have this concept of who you could be more successful with this information or through this experience. Uh, Not just financially, but emotionally, socially, all these things. You're getting this information. If I'm putting out so much of who I am from a content standpoint, you could end up never accomplishing anything in the quote unquote real world of your own nature, but so fixated on me and what I'm doing, you're living through me. So I want you to do that. I want you to spend as much. I want to say the worst of me wants you to do that. The worst of me wants you to spend 1,000 to 2,000 hours a year listening and thinking through, yeah, of with me through this platform, because I only have to record this once, and then you could listen to this 50 times, 100 times, endless amount of times through the rest of your life. Like, we're in the matrix, I'm the machine, and you are in that pod, and you are living this false reality. You're living your idealized self through me actualizing what you're not going to actualize because you spent so much time listening to me. You're not doing anything, but you feel like you're doing everything because you're doing it through me. So keep listening, right? But hook yourself up to this thing. Give me all of your life force, because you're not even giving it to me. I'm me now for recording this the one time. You're giving it to a hologram of who I was at the time of this recording. I'm getting an infinite leverage on you because you put your whole life into this thing and you're just listening, 1,000 episodes a year, 500, 2,000. That's just coming to me. So you get to live, like, I guess I'll be considered successful in this content game, in this information sharing game business, when I have millions of you not accomplishing what you think you're going to, or conceive yourself accomplishing on the other side of having listened and experienced this. It's and that's a challenge. It's like, wake up. You don't have to leave me completely, but this isn't real. This is this is a hologram, and this is a confrontation between you and yourself, who you are, who you could be, who you are, who you don't want to be, who you think you are that you're not, who you think you are that you who you think you're not that you are. Like, this is between you and you. The Jay that you're listening to isn't real. Like, you're listening to this after I've recorded it. I'm not even the same person. Hopefully, I'm better than, hopefully, I'm better if you meet me than I was today. But the statistical likelihood is I'm actually worse because the more that I capitalize on you, your conscience, your investment into this hologram that is a representation of who I might be. It's like my idealized self is meeting your idealized self in this virtual world of an interaction of your current actual self listening to this at this moment in time, this space time, based on the concept of yourself, things you like, things you dislike, things you want to change, things you don't, the backwardsness of that. There's an idealized self that you're projecting out. That's got to be there at some level, even if it's not super clear to you, or else what would be driving you to listen to this? And I'm in the same boat. That's where the false worship isn't a good idea because I'm doing this for my own idealized self. And so you're helping me actualize my idealized self, or at least the idea. Yeah, yeah, what? Yeah, exactly. You're helping me actualize that. If the more that you actually don't, because the more time you spend on this with me, meaning not me, but the me that it appears to you, which is a hologram of me, which is old me, which died a long time ago. I'm either better or worse, and I'm most likely worse than you think I am, because having succeeded from harvesting all of your conscience, that's eventually going to be capitalized. It's going to turn into money, which is going to change me. Um, and so I probably won't be nearly as pure hearted as I am right now. Uh, Man, this sounds terrible. This is a bleak picture that I'm painting. Well, this is what information overload is about. Here are my notes. Lost identity. Are we actualizing our destiny or living through the ideals of another? So it might be time for you to stop listening to me and others. No, listen to others. I wouldn't want to tell you to stop listening to other people. I think I don't know how I feel about that. But there's a time to listen, there's a time to take action. It doesn't have to be an either or, but maybe I'm helping you by not holding that back. Because I have a financial incentive. I have a reputational incentive. I have a social interpersonal incentive based on my own interpersonal conflicts and lived experience issues, wanting you to listen to me and value me and love me. Right? You don't know me. I have an incentive to convince you to keep staying in this matrix, to keep playing this video game. So just take that for what it is, and don't. If I'm following my conscience, I have to tell you, you shouldn't spend so much time listening to me. Now, is that reverse psychology to get you to want to listen more because now you believe? See, it's not trust; it's belief because we haven't spent any time together. Trust is proven and reproven through actions. You believe whoever you think I am. So like, do I have more of you now as a consequence of telling you to go away? Because I'm being honest, so that and it's real. So then you're more likely to stay. And do I have even more influence for you to stay because I'm telling you what I just told you that I think is likely the case that could be true? And then is that doubly, or is it, or does it actually lead you to think Jay's right? Let me stop listening because he just explained how he has that incentive, but then how my brain would convince me to stay and I should be more responsible within that awareness and leave Jay But are you really strong enough to make that choice on your own? I don't know if you actually are. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to stay because I want to make as much as I possibly can out of my own insecurities in pursuit of influence, authority, and power from you listening to me and doing things and telling the world how great I am, even though you don't know me. You only interact through this hologram of who I once was, who I'm likely to be, and I'm likely to be worse than I appear today based on the consequences of you staying and me monetizing. You don't even, who knows how I'm monetizing. We aren't just consuming goods and services, we're consuming one another. You're literally eating me right now. This is my version of OnlyFans because only a fan's going to listen to this shit. The hell is Jay saying? You know, only a fan is going to listen to this. This is my version. And you are paying money right now. Even though you're not paying money, you're indirectly paying money to listen to my OnlyFans because OnlyFans will listen to this shit. Because you'd have to really think that I have something to offer to listen to this right now. You don't even know me. And you're paying money because time is money. Money is time. Time, that's what we have. Money expresses how much power is it in our time. And you're not getting this time back, just like I'm not getting this time back. The difference in you and me in this context is I filmed this one time, 15 minutes. A million of you fuckers, and I'm gonna use that because maybe I'll upset you to go away. You should stop listening because a million of you fuckers are gonna put 20 minutes, 15 minutes into this thing. So I filmed it one time. A million people are gonna do 15 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. That's leverage. And none of you are even interacting with me. You're interacting with a hologram of who I once was, that I'm unlikely that person. And I'm more likely to be worse than I am today, than better, at least from a character standpoint. Content, maybe I'm more educated. Maybe I know more about how to manipulate the world into my image and get more power, but I'm unlikely to be a better person because I'm not a saint. I am absolutely a sinner. So information overload is about this topic. And some things never change, other things do. I don't know exactly what has or hasn't, but I have a few opinions of what this content thing means for us all. And I've spent almost 12,000 hours on Audible since 2015, and we wouldn't be a successful nationwide consulting firm with client partners all over the country that we work with. I'm doing this late at night because I promised myself that I would do it. It's just extra work, and it's going to pay off years from now from a financial perspective because I'm harvesting you right now as you listen to this. I recorded this so many years ago, and I'm still taking advantage of you. And you signed up for this. This is like Adam Smith's invisible hand. The selfish, and Dawkins' selfish gene. I get to reap the rewards of what I once did based on your insecurity and desire to be better. So, in closing, our reflection is what others see. What we do, what we don't do, who we are reflected in our actions, in our results. This is the thing. You don't get to see my actions. This is just a hologram. So don't think you know me because you don't. You know parts of me. Parts of me I don't even know, I'm sure, because you've been watching. With other parts that you couldn't know unless we spent time together. And you'd likely find out that you didn't like me very much after you spent time with me. Now, what I just revealed is um, how sad I am because who would say that about themselves? But anyway, that's something to chew on. Please invest the rest of your life listening to me so that I can live um, my dreams to the fullest and you can live vicariously. I don't really mean that. I can't say that with a straight face, but try to moderate how much time you invest into learning through the Culture Marriage podcast. And I will see you next time on the Culture Marriage podcast. Invest in here's the pitch. Invest in 30 days of thought. Help me sell some books and share the word